Hey everyone, I'm Wendy Lee, and you're watching an exclusive artist interview at Sideshow Con. Today, I am chatting with Sideshow Paint Lead, Kat Sapene. Hi, Kat. How are you?
Hi, Wendy. I'm good. And yourself?
I'm doing great. So I know that you've been painting for Sideshow for a long time.
Yeah.
What would you say, which piece of yours in particular, we're just going to jump right in here.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which piece in particular proved to be one of the greatest challenge and why?
Oh, man. I think most of the time it's like every new one that I'm working on, because there's always something we're always trying to push things a little bit farther. But I think anytime there's a light effect or a magic effect or any of those things, really trying to sell that something other world, something that's not actually there is happening, is always really, really difficult. And but a fun challenge. I love trying to. It's so gratifying when it actually comes out and it works, and you're like, yes, it looks like it's lit up, but it's not.
It's magic, paint magic,
Yes.
right? And with that said, how do you continue to evolve and develop your artistry?
By looking at other artists' work, seeing what other people have done, and studying nature a lot of times. Just like in particular, like when I'm trying to do, like, there's an explosion or something like that, and we're looking for that like light on the inside. It's just a ton of research, finding the images that I think are really giving me the information that I need to make it happen, and then just trying it out. Sometimes we'll have like a spare base or something like that, or a portion of something that I can use and test it out and just sort of figure out the technique that I'm going to use and kind of how I'm going to layer the paints. And then you just kind of bite the bullet and go for it.
That's awesome. So I know your kind of road to artistry. You were in school for physics and you really enjoyed physics, but you enjoyed art at the same time. When did you know that you wanted to become an artist?
I kind of always knew I wanted to be an artist, just like as a little kid. My entire family, it's architects and painters, and my mom was always really creative as well. And so it's something, making things is something that just I'd always done. And the physics was like, oh, maybe I can make money and not be a starving artist. And then once I was in college, I was like, I don't know, the direction of the art just feels more like a place where I could succeed, which is unfortunate. I mean, there's plenty of times where I'm just like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should have gone into physics, or, what would have happened if I had gone into physics. I mean, there's definitely not enough women in the science fields. And I there's a lot of me, especially now when it's all really getting pushed, that wishes like, oh, I should have done that. I could have done something. But I'm thrilled with my career and how it's gone and where I am now.
Would you say that you still apply what you know about physics into your art?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just like we were talking about the light effects and stuff like that, it's a lot of sitting down, studying what's going on and what's actually going on. Especially if I'm just like looking at an image, and it's sort of trying to interpret what's going on in that image. And so there's a lot of just on the reference side, figuring that out. But then also when you're mixing paints and colors and layering them, you're constantly trying to figure out what's going on. And wow, that didn't go on how I expected. What's causing that, and how can I counteract that? How can I fix that problem? Or, oh, it's not what I expected, but damn, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, that works. How do I make that happen again?
I can just see like the Sherlock Holmes, like the markings in your head as you're painting and trying to figure out the occasion. I was like, she's cracked the code. Can you tell us, what was your first paid gig?
My first paid gig was, I started off in animation. To be honest, I had interned at this one studio in New York, and then went back to school, got my degree, and then just moved to New York in the hopes that I could maybe still get a job. And when I had left the animation studio as an intern, there was a woman there who was just like, give me a call if you come back to New York, we'll have a job for you. But insecure as I was, I didn't call her. And I was like, well, I'll get a job as a waitress first, and then I'll have some something, so that if they don't have work for me, I still have a job. And man, it is hard to get a job as a waitress in New York. They're like, what's your
Really?
headshot? I'm like, excuse me, a headshot? Yeah, it was impossible. I was just like, what is this? I have years of experience and I had done it before. So I just, out of desperation, I just sucked it up and called her, and she's like, oh my God, when are you available? Come in. I was like, really? Oh my God, I've got a job. Yeah, I was in tears. Yeah, I was just like, oh my God. And then it was just, having gone through that, I was just like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to keep this job and to continue and work hard and just do my best and stay in the art, because I am not going back to waitressing.
With a headshot.
Yeah, with a headshot. Yeah.
I've unheard of, maybe only in New York, but that's a great story. Destiny intervened and was like, no, Kat, you're not going to be a waitress. You are an artist. Yeah. So with that said, what are you most proud of as an artist?
Oh, what I'm most proud of and what's most difficult, it's almost like the same answer. It's usually the thing I've just finished, because every time I try to attack each piece as something new, not I'm very methodical in the way that I paint, but that's not to say that I paint everything the same way. Like no skin tone is ever the same. I'm always looking at my reference and kind of recreating it. So like I don't have formulas for skin tone or blue jeans or anything like that. And so every project is kind of starting over. How am I going to do this? How can I make it fresh? How can I make it different? And so everyone that I finish is like, oh, awesome. This is really cool. I'm really happy about how this turned out. And so it's usually, I hope that it comes across that everyone is one that I'm trying harder and doing better with. So
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I've seen your pieces and I've seen your work, and I would happy to say that nothing you do ever is copy and paste. You know, even if you're working on the same character, it's always like you can see like the thought and the physics and the methods that went into it.
Well, thank you.
Of course. So when you're in your shop working and you're in the studio painting, what do you listen to while you're working?
It's usually books on tape. I have an Audible account, and so I burn through books. So if I don't have a meeting or email that's distracting me, I'll sit there and listen to a book for 8 hours. So I try to get really long books and books that are a part of a series.
Exactly. So you can just be like, next.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to have to think about it. Like the few times I have to like stop and look for a new series of books, I'm like, oh.
You're like, oh, I don't know. And then you're like wasting time. You're like, I should be painting.
Exactly. I'm just like, oh my God, I just need to find something.
And my final question to you is, what advice would you give to aspiring artists?
Just keep trying, keep at it, and don't give up, and don't be discouraged by where you're not. You know, like we all always see everybody else and we're like, oh, I wish I could do that, or I wish I could do this other thing. And you're never going to get there if you don't keep at it. You know, if you give up 10 years later, you're going to be like, man, I could have been there if I just had kept at it. So just don't give up. Just keep going, keep working, and you'll get there. You will get there.
That's such great, well, how do I say this? Words of encouragement. I know a lot of people, it's just kind of like, because you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet when you're just trying to get there. So that is so encouraging.
You just see where everybody else is and where you want to be. And you just have to put the work in to do it. And I mean, it goes for anything, honestly. Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Kat. It's been such a delight talking with you.
Absolutely. Yay, people.
Yay, contact. Yay. And I want to thank our viewers. Thank you all for watching at home. Stay tuned for more content from Sideshow Con. And don't forget to let your geek side show.